Now that we have finished our work with the Hall text, let's move on to the Picciano text and that perspective on hardware and software in Chapter 10. We asked you to look at 3 questions. Let's look at the first question. Anyone want to share what they believe is criteria that should be used when evaluating hardware purchases? When you're evaluating your needs for hardware, you need to look at performance capability, expandability, scalability, ergonomics, software availability, vendor, cost. All equally important in the driving forces behind your decisions. More specifically, performance is about speed and reliability, compatibility, does it work and play well with other hardware, scalability, can it be modified, upgraded as we grow, ergonomics, will it cause health risks to the users? As for software availability, is there a good selection of software for that hardware? In regards to the vendor, does the company have a good reputation? And lastly, cost. Is the cost in line with other comparable hardware? So now that we've spent some time on hardware, now on to software purchases. Could I have some examples of what criteria should be used when evaluating software purchases? As with hardware purchases, software purchases need to be thoroughly thought out by looking into efficiency, ease of use, documentation, hardware requirements, vendor, and cost. Also, it is important to think about your platform considerations, whether you'll be working in a PC or a Mac platform. When we talk about efficiency, how well are the programs written? Ease of use. How easy is the software to use? Documentation. What is the quality and quantity of the documentation? Hardware requirements to consider to make the most of your software purchase. Do we have the hardware to run the software? For our vendor, does the vendor have a good reputation? For the cost, is the cost in line with comparable software? All important questions. Lastly, from our Chapter 10 guiding questions, what are the pros and cons of open source software? What did you guys come up with? Open source software is cheap and customizable, but you're offered minimal support, sometimes there's poor documentation, and to troubleshoot and continually use it, it requires a knowledgeable IT staff. You can also factor in security risk in the list of cons. Any questions so far?